It's a special day. And I'm gonna tweak some of these settings because I wanna. I think there's a bit of static picking up in the background. I'm tweaking my volume settings. I don't know if it's picking up my laptop's fan or if it's picking up the air conditioner. I don't know. Either way, it's really warm in here. Turn it up. Yeah, that's probably the air conditioner. Whoop, mouse froze. That's the problem with this USB mouse. Sometimes it just like, nope, I don't want to work anymore. You have to turn it on and off again. It's annoying. I don't know what causes it. We'll go with that for settings for my mic. I can't really test the capture card audio because there's no music here. It's quiet ambience that I don't even know it's picking up because I've turned down the game audio quite a bit. By default, I think it'll go way too high. So yeah, I figured I didn't want to start any major super big games again until I had a bit more of a plan in mind. So this week I'm just gonna do 2 Dudunsparce streams. Or maybe only one if we end up getting extremely lucky and get ourselves the shiny, but, you know, the odds of that are kind of low. Odds of that are kind of low, but, yeah. Plus I figured, what better way to celebrate a special day than by getting stuff at Sparkles? You know? Look, I had, like, nothing in mind. Cut me some slack. I had nothing in mind. So, here we are. I have to remember the recipe for the sandwich because it's been a few months. Because I think the last time I streamed Dudunsparce was maybe, like, right before Mario and Luigi. Because I think I did one Dudunsparce, like back in like March or something. Then I started Mario and Luigi, and then got interrupted by a surprise direct. So there were like 2 directs in the span of a week. So that was a surprise and a half. I think I can turn the game volume is a bit iffy because it changes depending on the game, and I don't quite get the science behind it. So I'm turning the game audio up a decent amount, not too high, and I don't want to overpower my voice too much. So I think it's been a slight problem during Mario and Luigi, which kind of sucks. I want to make this watchable to some extent. So, creative mode, I think the recipe involves tomatoes. I think it's normal onions, green peppers, hamburger, and 2 tofus I have not stocked up on. I stocked up on a bunch of Pokeballs. Not basic Pokeballs, but like, got a lot of Dusk Balls, Quick Balls, Timer Balls, like, I'm pretty stocked up on those, so no worries about those. I should have went and found out where the heck to get tofu and stocked up on that. Though granted, I'm probably not going to run out this stream, because we're probably going to do like 3 or 4 sandwiches and be done. And some of those are going to be reset and, you know, it's all done. I think 2 sweets will work. This is the closest thing we're gonna get to a cake, okay? We're just gonna have to deal. We're just gonna have to deal, okay? Okay. Alright, let's see if I can stack well enough. So as you may notice, I am still playing the Switch 1 version. I do not have a Switch 2, so I do not get the free upgrade. Which is unfortunate, because the free upgrade includes, like, double the spawn rate of everything. And that's gonna make getting Dudunsparce a lot easier. Unfortunately, that simplicity and ease of shiny hunting will not be here with me for some time, at least. It'll happen eventually. Whether or not it's before or after I get my 3 segment is up to chance. My finger slipped off the A button. I dropped the pepper. Hopefully it's not too much of a problem. I will reset if I need to. I don't think 1 pepper will change too much, but you never know. I don't know the exact science behind how this game operates in terms of how sandwich buffs work. So I don't know. There's some sort of process, but like I don't get it. Here's my sandwich. Spark the power, tunnel power encounter. Okay, it works. We're fine. Everything's fine. We don't need that. We don't need that pepper. It's okay. We're good. All right. Now let's make our way down into Area 0. So yeah. Speaking of the directs, speaking of directs. On Twitter, I did a little poll at the beginning of the week being like, are we gonna see a Nintendo Direct this week? And then like hours after I made that poll, we get the announcement of the Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct, which was amazing, by the way. It was amazing. I already like kind of wanted to get the game to start with. Now I feel like it's a must-have. I really want it now. So yeah, very much looking forward to DK Bonanza. And I will probably stream it when I get my hands on it and the Switch 2 and all that. So that's gonna be fun. Just gonna go and smash everything underground. And I probably will spend a lot of time just messing around on DK Artist. It's like, hey, I love creative shit like that. just the fact that they went out of their way to make a little side mode where you're just carving shit. It's a full-on like 3D modeling software just built into DK Bonanza. And it's the dumbest thing, but I love it. I love it so much. It's a perfect showcase of the mouse controls too. So like, who needs Blender? Who needs Blender that will inevitably make my freaking GPU crash because they just cannot handle the power of 3D modeling and literally anything else happening in the background. When I could just load up DK Bonanza and mess around with some rocks. So like, I could probably do like a whole stream or two of just me messing around in DK Artist and doing like viewer requests for that. I think Wanya at one point did a stream. I don't know if we ever saved it to the Vaj channel, but I think he did a stream where he was just messing around drawing shit in MS Paint. I think you'll have that kind of same vibe to it. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. But yeah. I can't believe they did it again. It's like, I remember how they revealed Mario Odyssey. Like, you got the basic platforming stuff. Oh, it's a 3D Mario! It's in this style similar to Mario 64. It's so amazing. We missed it so much. And then they tease Cappy at the end. They tease it at the end. That's when they revealed the Switch 1, right? Then later down the line, they put another trailer out that shows off the capture stuff. We knew about bouncing on your cap, but like, wow, you can just possess things and become things, and you can use that to your advantage in a multitude of ways. And that was a like, whole breakthrough revelation. It was amazing. And now they've done it again with DK, where it's like, hey, we made a platformer where you can smash literally everything. And that in itself is really cool. And that's like, oh hey, that little rock companion we showed off, it's actually Pauline. And her singing can transform you into like, sort of like semi-kaiju creatures. It's like, oh, okay. Was not expecting that. I will miss Oddrock though. Cause like, They made it seem like Oddrock was gonna be this big companion, and then the full box art leaked showing Pauline on it, and it's like, oh, okay. It's like, wait a minute. What's the deal with that? Why isn't Oddrock on the box art anymore? Is this from, like, the past? Like, did they change it to Oddrock very late in development? What happened here? And then we get the announcement that Oddrock is Pauline, and given the fact that she's on all the box arts and new renders, that means we're gonna have Oddrock for maybe, like, half of the first world and then never see it again. And that actually kind of sucks, because I really liked Oddrock. It was so goofy and now it's gone. Oh well. I do think the whole thing with transforming DK is interesting enough. Not to mention, there's like full customization, and it's built off of Mario Odyssey, so it has all the costume type stuff with it. Except unlike Mario Odyssey, like almost every outfit has like a benefit to it. It has like a stat change or something. Which is like, wow. There's a purpose to customizing DK besides just getting like a few random things here and there. Oh, sure. Like, oh, like you actually get like little buffs and everything from it now. That's cool. That was a neat little surprise. And like DK and Pauline both get outfits, and there's like amiibo to unlock one of the outfits early. Luckily, it's not an exclusive thing. It's not like Mario Odyssey where it's like, hey, you wanna know where to find purple coins and don't want to look online? Buy a Bowser wedding amiibo. That's all you get. So like, oh, okay. Thanks, but no thanks. Like, I'll admit, I'm not much of an amiibo collector. I hate that. On my counter. I have forgot about my freaking counter. Like, almost entirely. I also can't move it on my screen because the freaking bar on it is so freaking tiny. You like 2 pixels and freaking drag a stupid thing. And press P2. Yay! But yeah, overall, I'm still looking forward to DK Bonanza, probably more now. The fact that none of that, besides the fact that Pauline's in the game, ever, like, showed up before that direct is incredible. Because, like, holy shit, the reveals. The reveals in the gameplay. Like, you'd think there'd be some big leak about at least DK Artist. Like, that is the closest thing we've got to Mario Paint since Mario Maker. It's an actual art program. It's Nintendo's own version of Blender, given that creative spin. It's hilarious. I'm gonna spend so much time just messing around in DK Artist, you have no idea. That's probably one of the most hype things about that reveal. That director's like, hey, just because we could, we made an art program. We made a full-on like 3D modeling software as a side mode. It's like, what? I'm sorry, what? It's like, that's a surprise and a half. It's like, wow. Like, I wouldn't say that DKRS is like a sole reason I'd be picking up the game or anything, but wow. Okay. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. I probably will not get it on launch though. I don't know when I'm gonna be picking up my Switch 2. It's very hard to get one. And I did not pre-order, because judging by what I've seen on Twitter, pre-ordering has been an absolute fucking disaster. So, yeah, that is not happening. So, I have to rely on other methods, aka going to a store and getting one myself, because I'm not getting it online at all, because I don't trust it. Like, how many people have had their pre-orders... Okay. How many people had their pre-orders canceled because of, like, everyone flooding the sites and with, like, the lag resulting from, like, all the traffic? Like, it was a mess, and I do not want to get involved in that shit. I do not want to get involved in that shit. Add another to the counter. 23! Alright. Besides that, people are acting like, oh no, this is just proof that we're not getting a full direct this month. Oh no, it's terrible. And I'm like, no, do you not remember? Like, what was it, like back in late March, early April? We got 2 directs in the span of a week. It's like we knew about the Switch 2 one like 3 months in advance. Like 2 or 3 months in advance, because Nintendo was actually kind about that one. Instead of unveiling it like 2 days ahead of time, I was like, hey, we're doing a thing. It's gonna be in a couple months. Have fun. Mark your calendars and all that. And then like a week before that direct happens, they're like, oh yeah, the Switch 1's getting one last direct all to itself. Hope you guys don't mind. And that's when they gave us a new Rhythm Heaven and a Tomodachi Live, and I'm like, what the hell? So like, it's not like we can't have 2 directs in the span of a week. And it's not like if we have an announcement for a game on Twitter that it cancels out a direct. Because remember, Everybody Want to Switch was formally announced as a Twitter post. Like, it has trailer put online separate from the direct, and we still got a direct like a week later. Like, it did not cancel the direct because of a game announcement. So no, Splatoon Raiders and the version update for Splatoon 3 did not cause the direct to get canceled. Donkey Kong Bonanza getting a whole separate direct to itself does not cancel a general direct. There is still a chance. What is happening? I'm at 3! I am at 3 shinies already! We just started! I need to stop catching them quick goals. People are gonna get mad at me. I'm at 3 shinies! We're 15 minutes in! This is the most abundant sandwich I've ever had! What is happening? We just like learning about Donkey Kong. We talk more about Donkey Kong Bonanza and the 3D art program. We are Dudunsparce. We like digging in the ground. We like rocks. DK artist is perfect for us. Okay, Dudunsparce. Sure. Seriously, I should not have been anything this good of luck with a sandwich. Cause like, I have the sandwich buffs, I have a shiny charm, sure. But like, usually, I still have a chance of not finding any shinies, and usually I get like 1 per sandwich, if at all. Right? Maybe 2. I already have 3! I have 3! This is a Switch 1 version! I don't have the buff spawn rates! Because I don't think I do. Does it look like they increased the spawn rate for Switch 1? I feel like that'd be a bad idea. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with this game anymore, man. All I know is that I think Baxcalibur's getting a Terra event tonight. So like, I'm gonna pick that up, like right after stream. Like, I don't know why my luck is suddenly so good. How long is left in the sandwich? Like, 17 minutes. We are 13 minutes into the sandwich. I have 3 shinies. I am gonna run out of party space if we keep this up. This is so dumb. Okay. Well, back to the topic at hand. I still think it's possible that we see a full major direct. For whatever reason, they likely just delayed it a couple weeks to polish it up and put a couple things on there, and maybe they had like a little bit of a rights issue or something. Like some sort of licensing thing, I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with Nintendo Directs. All I know is I need to mute the freaking montages because they can put licensed music in there, and Just Dance is a bitch. So, so like, I can't trust that. So like, that might be part of the reason. That might be part of the reason. some sort of licensing thing, or maybe they needed another trailer and wasn't quite ready yet. I don't know. Like, it could be possible that DK Bonanza was meant to have an appearance in a General Direct to announce the full separate Direct, kind of like what happened with Mario Wonder. It could be possible that they were planning to put the Splatoon Raiders and Splatoon 3 updates up in a Direct, but because it wasn't ready yet, and because the update for Splatoon 3 would come out a couple days later, they had to get that trailer out because they're in tandem. Like, they could not avoid that. That was time sensitive. So, like, there could still be a Direct. We could still see plenty of stuff. It's like Arlo's mentioned this. Do we have a proper holiday game? Like, the only thing I really... Like, the way that he's saying is, like, the closest thing to that for a holiday Switch 2 game would be Legends ZA as a cross-gen release. So I feel like that doesn't really count. I feel like Legends ZA doesn't really count as a holiday game. It's not for Switch 2 anyway. Generally, maybe, because it comes out in October, but... I don't know. I don't know. But, beyond that, like, we have nothing for holiday releases, so I don't know what we could have for that. As much as I would love a 3D Mario, if they announce one, it's definitely going to be next year, because DK's taking the spotlight this year. Especially because that's the Odyssey team working on that. It's very clear. That's the Odyssey team. So they're not making an Odyssey 2 or the new 3D Mario, so that would be next year, probably. I want to make sure it's hard to see Dudunsparce through the wall. They never fixed that, by the way. Dudunsparce sliding like, oh hey, how are you doing? But, besides that, I want to see Layton show up. I want to see Professor Layton in the New World of Steam show up, because that was given a teaser in a Direct like 2 years ago. And I think it showed up at some convention I was not paying much attention to. Like, late last year, we got a trailer for it then. I don't think we got a proper release date for it, except for the fact that it's coming out sometime this year. And I feel like if it's coming out this year, they've got to have a date pretty damn soon. So, you know, that's something. Besides that, I'm thinking... probably more GameCube NSO, because back when NSO was a new thing, they actually put in like NES and SNES NSO stuff into Directs mainly. And I remember how hype it was when Earthbound was put on NSO. Say they put that in the Direct. That was freaking cool. They'll probably keep doing that for GameCube. Just like, hey, now's the time when Chibi Robo gets put on NSO. They're not gonna just rely on Twitter for the early batch and stuff. Later on, when things start slowing down again, like the last couple years, like here's a monthly thing. We're gonna put it on Twitter. There you go. That's it. Like, I feel like for early GameCube NSO, they're gonna put that shit in Directs. Like, obviously. That makes sense to me. Could get a proper F-Zero announcement. It seems like it wouldn't be likely, but I know the Nintendo hype cycle. They do like a smaller release, or like a little thing to hype people up for the series, and then like 2 or 3 years later we get an announcement for a new game. Right? Like Pikmin 3 Deluxe, they put that on Switch in like 2020, I think, right? A couple years later, here's Pikmin 4. We got a Metroid 2, we got Metroid 2 remake with Samus Returns on 3DS. Then we got Metroid Dread soon after. we got Metroid Prime Remastered getting a shadow drop. And then we got a re-review for Metroid Prime 4 being almost freaking done with actual gameplay footage and everything. Instead of being a tease, then it's gone, and they say it's getting one, like, start over because it's not freaking good enough, and then it disappears for 5 years. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. That gets put on Switch. A couple years later, we get Mario Wonder. I know how this shit works. We've had F-Zero 99. We've had F-Zero GX get put on NSO as like a launch title for GameCube NSO. It's time. It's around that time. New F-Zero coming soon. They would not be putting as much attention on F-Zero if they weren't planning on doing something with it. We got our small release, we got a re-release. There you go. Perfect timing. Hell, you can kind of say the same for Zelda to an extent. It's like, we got the Link's Awakening remake, and then what happened soon after? A couple years later, we get a brand new Zelda game using, I think, like a map based on the Link to the Past map with the same art style with Zelda. You get Echoes of Wisdom. So, like, they do this for all of their franchises, big or small. If F-Zero is getting the attention to get a full-on Battle Royale spinoff and a notable re-release on NSO, it's time. And that's coming from someone who's never played F-Zero and only hears about F-Zero kind of like I know next to nothing about it besides racing game where a guy can do fiery punches of death for some reason. Like, I know very little about Captain Falcon and his Falcon Punch and his cool cars and all that. Like, the closest thing to me playing F-Zero was the original Mario Kart 8 DLC where they added Big Blue in Mute City. Like, that's it. I've never played the original F-Zero. I've not played any other F-Zeros. I have not played the Battle Royale spin-off game, even though I think it's free with NSO. I've never fucking played that. So, it's like that, and the one cutscene from Brawl when Captain Falcon absolutely just demolishes an army of Pikmin. Just leaving the one red Pikmin staring off, and it's just like, Olimar, what are we gonna do? It's like, I know next to nothing about F-Zero and its lore and its anime that exists, I guess. So, like, I can't say I'm a fan, but at the same time, it's one of those series that's been, like, mostly abandoned by Nintendo, so seeing it get a big resurgence, like, I'm always gonna be happy about that kind of thing, because, like, I've lived through it. Pikmin. Pikmin's had, like, 2 major hiatuses, I guess? 2 major gaps of no games. So there's like the 9-year gap between 2 and 3, and then the, like, 10-year gap between 3 and 4, not counting Hey Pikmin, because nobody counts that. It's like nobody counts Hey Pikmin. Nobody does. Like, F-Zero's had it even worse. It's like, F-Zero GX on GameCube, I think, was the last thing it got until F-Zero 99. Unless there's something on the handhelds I'm forgetting. But, like, again, I'm not a fan of F-Zero. I've never played it. I haven't paid too much attention to it. So, like, I have no idea. So, like, I don't know. Some F-Zero expert probably knows. And they're haunted by the fact it's taken this long to get into F-Zero. Mario Kart stealing all the spotlight. With a freaking, like, Mercedes-Benz tie-in, because that was a thing that happened back in the Wii U days. I don't get it either. Like, if it was just for Mario Kart, it'd be weird, but I'd get it. Put that shit in Mario Maker. They put that shit in Mario Maker alongside Shaun the Sheep. It's like, okay. Ugh. Fine. Whatever. I don't get you. All I know is I'm going on weird tangents for games I don't fully know the extent of. Like, I know Nintendo franchises that have been somewhat abandoned. F-Zero, Kid Icarus, Pikmin until recently. Was Chibi Robo a first party? I think it was an exclusive to Nintendo stuff, but like that's not necessarily a first party thing, because like Kirby's exclusive to Nintendo. That's not a first party technically. Nintendo doesn't develop Kirby. That's a HAL thing. It's HAL Labs. It's more of a third party exclusive type deal, you know. I don't know all the specifics behind a lot of these things, but like, still, there are a lot of series that have been kind of like abandoned by Nintendo. And like, I kind of get it. Like, Mario and Zelda are always gonna sell more than Pikmin. That's abundantly clear. But like, when they're willing to bring these types of games back. They brought Pikmin back. They gave DK a new 3D platformer. That hasn't happened since DK64. It's been like 20 years for him. So like, you know, like I get it. In a perfect world, there'd be no Nintendo franchise left behind, but we don't live in a perfect world now, do we? You know, potential and all that. Switch sales, brought a lot of stuff back. We got a new Rhythm Heaven, we got a new Tomodachi Life for next year. Like, those were like they're coming so late. You think like they weren't gonna show up at all, and here they are. I was putting Tomodachi Life in for freaking memes, and the Rhythm Heaven was there because I couldn't think of enough spaces to put on the bingo. And here we are! But yeah, it's a thing. So, I know it's a roundabout way of saying it, but what I'm trying to make here is a Nintendo Direct could still happen next week. That's all I'm really trying to say. So yeah. I still think it's possible that we get a full General Direct next week. Because, like, think about it. You really think Nintendo would pass up this opportunity? Like, it's the whole June cycle, man. Like, this is E3 season, with what's left of it, I guess. We had Summer Game Fest, where we had plenty of announcements, and most people didn't care this time around. And Sony State of Play, which people claim was boring and kind of sad. We had the Xbox Showcase, which I don't even know if I saw anyone talking about it outside the potential of an Xbox portable handheld that could cost like $1,000. Same people could play that $450 or $500. It's too expensive for Switch 2. Like, come on, guys. Is it because Nintendo's the freaking like? Since the console stuff for babies, grown-ups play Sony and Xbox like real men. He's like, what the fuck? Whatever. Double standards. I hate it. It's annoying. But like, the other big two have had their big announcements. There was the big kind of E3 replacement of Summer Game Fest. Nintendo could bring us home. Nintendo could have this really big show planned. And like, you know, classic Nintendo fashion, they're not doing it next to everything else. They don't wanna clog the system, I guess. Like, they have plans. They have plans, they push them off to the side, clearly. Splatoon Raiders had to be announced on a separate trailer instead of a direct because they had to get it out because of the Splatoon 3 update info. And the direct wasn't ready, so they kind of pushed it aside. From Bonanza, they had the full direct ready for that. So they figured they wouldn't delay that just because of the general directs. So like, because like DK comes out literally next month, less than a month from now. They'd better tell us, like they had to tell us more about the game before then, right? So they're not gonna tell us about like here's what the game's like 2 weeks before the game comes out. Like that's not how it works. Unless you're doing a shadow drop, which we know they weren't doing because they had a release date announcement. So they couldn't do their whole shadow drop shenanigans with it. So DK, I think, was on a real time limit, on a real time crunch. But I still think we're gonna get a general direct next week. I feel like it has to happen. Give us our holiday game. Give us our little new stuff for NSO. You already have plenty of games confirmed. What's going on there next? What's coming out next month, you know? Chance for F-Zero or any other, like, Nintendo series to get revived. Maybe more info on the Kirby DLC. Maybe a little something from Mario's 30... No, it's... Were we at 35th or 40th? 35th was last time. That was when we got 3D All-Stars. This would be the 40th. Okay. The sandwich is out. So now, let's head back to the surface. And let's check out our shinies. One of them could be our 3 segment. There's still hope. So, you got me talking about Direct, and we're already half an hour in. We're having a good time here today. Alright, so, for nature guesses, I'm gonna guess bold, timid, and careful. Jolly, naive, hardy. We got a mark on this one. Destiny mark! The mark of a chosen Pokemon. What exactly does that mark mean? It's not described very well. Let me check. How does that one work? Let me do a little Google search real quick. Pokemon chosen one mark. Here we go. Sarah B, help me out here. Destiny mark. Ah! It's a birthday mark! Available randomly on wild Pokemon on day set is your birthday. 1 in 25 on your birthday, 3 in 25 if you have the mark charm. This is my birthday, Dudunsparce! Aww. Thanks, game. Now I wonder, will this actually be our 3 segment? Because that'd be perfect! A birthday 3 segment. Put Hyper Roll on it. Put it over Dragon Rush, because I'm not going to use Dragon Rush on the damn thing. We'll do it for the other 2 as well before I forget. You'll do it all at once. Put Dragon Rush. Get rid of Dragon Rush. Get rid of Dragon Rush on you. And then not Roost. I don't know why you have that. And get rid of Dragon Rush on you. And now, with our bag, let's use our XS's first. Okay, that was enough for a level. There you go. Here's one. Dudunsparce is evolving. This is our birthday one. Nope. Unfortunately not. It's a chosen one a different way, so I can't be mad. This might be the one I keep instead, because I had one set aside for when I inevitably get my 2 segment and then like, trade out all of the other shinies, you know? I think I might keep this one instead. That should be enough for you. I'm 1 off, really? Okay. I have a hard time gauging experience. Alright, number 23. 2 seconds. Damn it. Okay. Third time's the charm. You're gonna take 12. Based on the last one. Did I get it right? Really? 13 then. Greedy little guy, aren't you? Alright. Number 24. 2 seconds. Dang it. It's a 1 in 100 chance, so I can't be too mad, but man. Like, I remember when Shiny Catherine got hers, it took her 200. Like, that is a mess and a half. So, let's see. So, where did I put my normal... Where did I put the... So, here's all the ones I plan to try out. All these are shiny. Where did I keep the ones that I wanted to keep? And I have a search button. I can just check myself. D4. Dudunsparce. There we go. Coach trades. There's my trade box. You? No, you're my Dex entry. There you are, bug. I kept this one, and I think I used it in a Terra Red event at one point. Because it's built. It has a proper build. See? Everything's hyper trained on it. It's low up to max. It's like, maybe I won't trade this one out, though. Maybe I won't trade that one out. But I will at least keep my birthday one. I will keep this mark. I'll put you in box 25 until I can reorganize everything. You can sit next to the shiny Tatsugiris. As for the rest of you... Where is it? You're going in the viewer box. There you go. You can save. 3 more Dudunsparces to our name. And let's start another picnic. I'm thinking we do 2, maybe 3 more sandwiches. Seems about right. Maybe this time maybe you know what? I'll drop a pepper on purpose, because that seemed to actually help, I feel like. I am superstitious now. It seemed to actually help, so I might as well try it. Alright, so 2 sweet. Gold pick. There we go. Alright. Millions on Ember. Tomato. That was good. Don't press that. And then we drop 1 pepper for luck. 1 here. And hopefully 1 here for bounce. Keep the bread away, because it's gonna freaking make everything explode out. And put in our pick. There we go. Actually, restart. You can do that. Here's marking his live. What? YouTube app is being weird. Why is it saying waiting? It says I'm streaming. What is happening? Did I just waste 40 minutes? No way, did you mess up? 5. Oh god, no. Don't tell me you broke. Oh my god, what? It says I'm live. Why am I not streaming? Hang on, what if I open up in Safari? Maybe it's just YouTube being weird. Christ, go. No! What happened? Uh-oh. What the fuck happened? Oh, thank God! Okay, so... I don't know what the fuck happened. Hope doesn't break the VOD. Okay, so... Okay! I need to explain what the fuck just happened here. I started stream. And I've been going for 40 minutes. I checked YouTube app. It's acting like I haven't started. That's weird. I definitely have. OBS says it's fine. I'm not getting any connection issues. Live chat seems to be on. Okay, maybe it's YouTube app being funky. Reset the app? It's not there. It says I'm live, but it's not showing. Copy the link and open it up in Safari in an incognito tab. This is waiting for me. Like I haven't started. I panic because I clearly am streaming. It's like, what's going on? So I decided out of panic to stop stream and without ending broadcast, start it up again. It is now running perfectly fine, and the past 40 minutes, the past 44 minutes are there in the rewind. It's still all there. So luckily, it seems that my reactions to the Dudunsparce and everything, and me getting 3-in-1 sandwich are all there. See, I rewound it. It's playing a stream. This is like right after I got my second one. Yeah. And you can actually hear me unlike some of the streams of Mario and Luigi, I feel like. Because I did not do a good job volume balancing, I guess. I need to work on that. But yeah, the stream's actually working now. And I don't get what happened. Hopefully, when the VOD is ready, it still keeps that 44 or 45 minutes of stream. If it doesn't, that's a shame. Because that means we missed 3 Dudunsparces. And you missed, like, probably the best sandwich I've ever had on this game. But, I can say this. I'm gonna, A, double check to make sure she's actually freaking going in the future, because I don't freaking trust it anymore. And second, this did not happen in a game that actually mattered for progress. It didn't. This is a side thing I wanted to do because for the heck of it. You know? Here we are. So now I know I gotta make absolutely fucking sure that stream's actually going. What is it with stream being absolutely cursed sometimes? Like, there was back when I didn't update OBS for a while in the early Mario Wonder streams and some of the Pokemon Violet streams that had like major glitches in them. There'd be times I would cut streams short because, you know, storm warnings get in the way, and even though I'm in a safe location to handle that sort of thing, you know, multiple alerts going off on my phone about it definitely scares you. Now this, where YouTube doesn't recognize I'm properly streaming for an hour, but it still is accepting the data. Hey Vix, I had major technical difficulties apparently, because the past 44 minutes of stream faked me out into thinking I wasn't streaming, because YouTube wasn't acting like I was. but it got all the data. I stopped streaming, restarted it. I do not auto stop, thank God. Restart stream. Stream starts running like normal. And that 44 minutes that supposedly wasn't streaming is all there and accounted for, so what the hell? It's like, the rerun should be available. Like, fix, real quick. Try to slide it back. Like, slide it back like 20, 30 minutes. Tell me if it works. Because it realistically should be working. I don't get what's up with these streams sometimes. They're the most cursed things imaginable. From friggin' storm warnings and OBS not being updated enough and it freaking out and corrupting the video and this might be an issue where to update OBS again because I have not in again months. I need to probably keep more up to date on that. So like I probably should update OBS if this happens again. Okay, so all of the stream is there. YouTube did have the data, it's properly processed and everything. But like, it wasn't live? Question mark? So I was like talking into the ether for 40 minutes. Because the stream was supposedly not going through. But it was because YouTube was accepting the data, it just didn't want to start the damn stream. I am so confused. And if inexplicably around 50 minutes of the VOD are missing when this is over, it's not my fault, it's YouTube being weird. See, you missed a sandwich and me talking about the DK Bonanza Direct and how it doesn't mean we're not getting a Direct next week and blah de blah de blah. You also see my reaction to getting 3 shinies in 15 minutes and my first shiny being a birthday one. Okay, long story short, we're going again. I don't understand what happened. I don't understand what happened, but it's working. We are okay. It's not waiting for me anymore for no particular reason. I don't understand! Well, either way, I'm gonna do this sandwich, then maybe one more, and then probably call it there. And, note to self, keep a very close eye to make sure stream's actually supposedly running. And maybe catch it before the 45-minute mark, and then, you know... Again, if this does mean that the VOD is missing, like, 50 minutes, oh well. But, like, at least it happened here, and not during, like, Mario and Luigi with actual main story progress. I know my internet has been having weird issues every now and again, but it has not affected my streams at all from what I can tell, because if my internet goes out for a few minutes, like, there will be a pop-up in the chat saying, cannot connect, lost connection, trying again in 5 seconds or whatever. So if there's a connection issue, if there was a connection issue with the internet, I'd at least be able to tell immediately, because it would show up in chat. This did not! I had no idea until I'm like, okay, I haven't seen anyone, so I can't check to see if stream's running good. I don't have anyone to fall back on. I check, waiting on Autistic Game Guy. Okay, that happens, I didn't restart the YouTube app first, it's fine. Restart, we'll sync up again. Restart, waiting on Autistic Game Guy. Okay, maybe I didn't give enough time to fully refresh. Restart again, wait a bit longer. Waiting on Autistic Game Guy. Okay, maybe it's just the app being weird. Load up a link for the stream on my phone in Safari. Waiting on Autistic Game Guy. OBS clearly said that I started. So, I don't know what happened, but either way, stream seems to be working now. We're still gonna have most of it, even if the VOD messes up, we lose about a third of it. But, well, there you go. It's all there and properly accounted for, and we can have a good freaking day. It is very annoying. It is very annoying. And you've been streaming for almost an hour, and YouTube is like, have you been streaming? I don't know. It's just making me paranoid now. But at least since you're here, I know it's actually running and working as intended, and I'm not going insane, and it is showing up in the rewind, and I don't understand. But hey, it's fine. The stream is working now, with seemingly no further issues. But yes, I am making absolutely sure in the future to double check that stream's actually running at the start. Cause like, imagine sharing the link out in your friend's Discord server and streaming for about 45 minutes and no one could watch the thing! And you've just been talking to a brick wall for 40 minutes! Not just a figment of your imagination. Oh no, I'm seeing things! Anyway, how have you been, Vix? How have you been? Did you watch the DK Direct? Or did you like it? Especially by the fact that stream just kind of didn't want to work properly for 40 minutes when I was explaining my thoughts. You probably don't know mine. But to sum it up, I like it. The plot twist with it being Pauline being our companion was kind of interesting, even if it was kind of spoiled early. I am gonna miss Oddrock though. Oddrock is a funny little dude. You can very clearly tell it was made by the Odyssey team. And the fact that in Nintendo fashion they're like, hey, let's just put a full-on 3D modeling software in here where you can carve out stones. Like, cool. I'm gonna definitely get a lot of mileage out of that. Like, I was already planning on picking up the game at some point when I get my hands on a Switch 2. As you can tell, I am not running this on a Switch 2. My shiny! Hey! Talk about DK! Brings out the shinies! It is like the part of the stream that didn't want to work right. We'll catch you in a dust ball. But hey! It seems to be working. So, alright. Very speed and increment the counter. We're at 25. Order odds for the 1 in 100 Dudunsparce. But, anyway, like, that is like the classic Nintendo move where it's like, hey, we'll put an assignment that has nothing to do with the game outside of maybe the general aesthetic. And like, here you go, a full-on 3D modeling software where you can carve rocks. It's like, okay. I like it. Mario Paint 3D. featuring Donkey Kong from the Donkey Kong series. Yeah. It's like, just come on and get a Switch 2. You go to a store and it's not there. They're all gone. I saw a tweet this morning. It's like, my local Target has had such a hard time stocking Switch 2s that they put a Wii U on for sale. They just still had a Wii U that they could sell, and because all the Switch 2s were already gone, they're like, fuck it. Put a Wii U out there. Maybe we can sell it. Little consolation prize. So yeah, things are going pretty well now that streams are actually working properly. I wonder if anyone else has this issue. Probably not. Can't wait to have a topography made fun of DK Bonanza. Isn't it weird how the underground still has, like, properly lit skies and everything? How does that work? I thought it was a whole separate dimension, but no, it's all underground, I guess, which didn't make sense into the theming, but, like, that's not how the sun works. But yeah, Donkey Kong! Woo! Anyway, as I was saying in the bit that may or may not even exist anymore, just because we got the Splatoon Raiders announcement, and just because Donkey Kong had his own separate direct for Bonanza, does not mean we will not get a general direct sometime this month. I still believe there is hope of a general direct next week. It's like, have we already forgotten? Have we already forgotten the Switch 2 Direct already? Where we know about that, like, 2 or 3 months in advance, and then, like, a week prior, it's like, hey, we're all doing a Direct for the Switch 1 before that's all gone, so we'll have fun with that. It's like, what? The Switch 2 Direct's in, like, a week? We're doing another Direct? So people have forgotten that Nintendo can just squeeze 2 Directs together. And they were full-length Directs, too. Donkey Kong was a small 15-minute one. And the trailer was a trailer. It was like 4 minutes, dude. There's still plenty of room for a full 30 to 40-minute Direct. Calm down. Don't act like all hope is lost and we're not getting a full Direct because they revealed the game and did a Donkey Kong Direct. It's okay. I mean, a screw it, who cares type of thing. It's like, why not? Anyway. If we do indeed get a Direct next week, and I feel like odds are, you know, decently high for that to be a thing, what do you think will show up, Vix? So I'm thinking, like, finally a proper trailer with an announcement, like announcement date, release date for Layton in the New World of Steam, because that was teased in a Direct like 3 years ago. Then I think should have been some convention I've never heard of, like late last year, still with no firm release date, which is weird, because it's supposed to be coming out this year, I thought. Maybe something F-Zero, because Nintendo do this hype cycle thing where it's like, hey, we're gonna do a smaller thing, like a re-release or something, and then a few years later, here's the big thing, and F-Zero's noticeably gotten that kind of treatment over the last couple of years. So we got the F-Zero Battle Royale spin-off game, we have F-Zero GX being, like, front and center for GameCube NSO, like, on launch. I think Nintendo has something planned for that series. I think Nintendo has some plans. Otherwise, maybe some news about the Kirby DLC, because we've gotten a little bit about that, because we've gotten some gameplay, generally showing off the Switch 2 edition, and then the new mouthful mode, where Kirby's just spraying and just like, like, long mouth is like, well, guess this is my life now. I mean, besides that, if we do get an announcement for a 3D Mario, which isn't likely because DK's definitely taking the show for 3D platforming for Nintendo this year, if they announce it, it's gonna be a tease for something next year. As like the big one more thing. Like, we're not gonna get like a full reveal with a release date and gameplay footage until probably next year. But I would not be surprised if they tease it. And that's really all I have for predictions. I have no idea how I'm gonna fill out a bingo card for this damn thing. Maybe they'll make a new Nintendo Land and mess around with the mouse controls. Who knows? I sure don't. Whatever. Maybe we'll get some new Switch 2 editions. Of course, we'll get some freaking game keycard garbage. Owning physical versions of games? That's a thing of the past, my friend. Your licenses are now physical. If our store shut down to the point where you can't download anything anymore, there goes your game. Bye-bye. It's stupid. Like, I understand Nintendo still hasn't had the thing where you can still download stuff from the DSi store if you bought stuff there. But like, how long is that gonna last? Not that many people are using DSi's anymore. When's that gonna stop? And when it stops the DSi, that's when all hell breaks loose for everything else. Cause like, the Wii is next. So like, that's when we start getting real fear about media preservation, you know? That's when you start getting real fear. Anyway. Physical media is important, and we need to do everything in our power to support it whenever we can. Anyway, no expectations for upcoming directs? Don't know. That's fair. That's fair. But it's when you have no expectations that they really surprise you. Oh, speaking of Kirby, maybe some gameplay of Kirby Air Riders. Because we got the reveal that it's 2 Direct. We got the general launch year, but no firm release date and no actual gameplay. Just the fact that it exists, and Sakurai's back in the director's seat. And that's really it. And I want to see more of that. we can have 2 Kirby things in a Direct. We did with the original Switch 2 Direct. Hello. Anyway. Long story short, I don't think it's impossible that we'll see a Direct next week. We still could get a June Direct. And we could see some big things. And there are a couple things that I think have a good chance of showing up that I'm really looking forward to. And, you know I'm gonna be playing Layton on stream. You know that for a fact. That's gonna be fun as hell. So, like, there's still potential. I don't want people giving up hope because, oh, they announced a game that would be put in the Direct. Oh, that means we're not getting one. Oh, Donkey Kong did his own separate Direct to himself. That means we're not getting a general Direct for everything. Oh, no, man. People overreact so much. I think we ultimately just have to wait and see. We ultimately just have to wait and see what they have in store. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in case the VOD does not have my original predictions in it, aren't we in the middle of Mario's 40th? I think the 35th was the last big celebration, and that's when we got 3D All-Stars, and the Game & Watch thing, and Mario 35, which is now dead, and we miss it so, and I never got a chance to play it. Yeah, are they gonna do anything for Mario's 40th? Because I feel like Mario's 40th would be a lot bigger of a celebration than his 35th. Unless there's some, like, cultural aspect to it. To, like, they celebrate 35th anniversaries, but not 40th in Japan. For some reason. I don't know. I'm an uncultured American. I don't know shit about the rest of the world. Like, you'd think the 40th anniversary would mean something really special for Mario, but there's been nothing. There has been nothing. Like, we got Mario Kart World, but that was probably going to be the launch on Switch 2 anyway, because Mario Kart Deluxe is the best-selling Switch. That was the best-selling Switch 1 game. So, like, of course you're going to lead with the next Mario Kart. That's obvious. But, like, what now? We have, like, nothing else to go off of. We have nothing. It's like, a Direct would be the perfect time to show something off for Mario. Even if you're just teasing the next big Mario project and it will come out next year, at least give us something, for crying out loud. It's like, come on. Well, either way, here's something I didn't mention in that first 45 minutes or so. There is something I could pretty much guarantee is going to happen. Sonic Central happens yearly on Sonic's birthday. Got a few more days. So I think we'll probably see a Sonic Central on the 23rd. And, you know, probably get another announcement for DLC waves or more info about Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Maybe get our reveal of our next mainline Sonic game, because it's been a little bit since Frontiers. And of course, you have all the meme stuff like Legos. Or maybe another like DC thing. So I'm not sure we're done with the... Are all of the DC crossover comics out yet? I have not been paying attention to that. Because is that all out? Or are they still doing a couple? I don't know. They'll probably go into more info about the manga. Because seeing as how popular like fan translations were for the Shadow one, and the fan outcry for an English release of the Sonic one, both of them are getting official translations. So that's pretty neat. There's Sonic Blitz, which we know exists because they're doing a test launch in the Philippines. Sonic Rumble still has not launched properly globally yet. It was supposed to months ago, but for some reason, they've released it everywhere except North America, I think. What's going on, guys? The game is finished and ready to go. Why can't we have it? I don't understand you. It's like, yeah, I can predict a lot more stuff for a potential Sonic Central. I'm like, guys, that's definitely coming in a few days. Unfortunately, it's not on a stream day, so I will not be reacting live to it. But hey, highlight video! Like last year, you guys remember, it was fun. So, yeah, expect that. Expect a Sonic Central reaction highlights video coming soon. But yeah, I feel like a Sonic Central is more of a guarantee to exist than the Nintendo Direct, but I still feel like the Nintendo Direct can happen. You know? It can happen. I think it could happen. Other than that, we just kind of have to wait it out. We just kind of have to wait it out, wait and see. Because, you know. That's the world we live in. For some reason, Nintendo likes to announce their directs like 2 days in advance instead of, you know, a couple months. The Switch 2 one was a, you know, massive, like, outlier. And they probably only did that because the Switch 2 was so hype and they weren't doing a big E3 presentation because it's gone now. So, like, I don't know. They should at least announce them like a week in advance, you know? Not like 2 days prior. Give us a little bit of time. Christ. Why are they like this? I don't understand. Oh well. There's always a chance I load up Twitter, like once stream is over, and I look, and it's like, hey, we're doing a direct on Sunday for some reason. It's like, what? Because you know Nintendo, they're predictable, but also entirely unpredictable. There's the platypus, how unexpected. And by unexpected, I mean completely expected! Have any of you watched Like, any of you, like, watching live or in the comment section, have you guys watched any of the Phineas and Ferb revival yet? The new season? I talked about this a little bit before, but in a chill stream like this, I feel like I could talk about it a little bit more. Because, like, not much really happens during these streams. It's just me going around in circles looking for shinies, you know? There's nothing special. Like, these streams right here with Dudunsparce are effectively just little podcast episodes. Like, you don't need to really pay attention to anything happening on the screen. I'm just talking. It's a little conversation thing we could do, you know? I don't have to focus too hard to shiny hunt. And then I can just chat with you guys. I don't have to pay attention to button inputs. I don't have to worry about story cutscenes, you know, constantly interrupting things. I can just sit back, relax, maybe scream when I see pink instead of bluish green. That's really about it. Like, these Dudunsparce streams are more like chill and relaxed. Unfortunately, to the point where if I don't have enough to talk about, they just kind of just drag on. I feel really tired and bored. It's like, uh-oh, I have no means of conversation. And now I'm dragging stuff on for an extra half hour because we gotta finish up this sandwich. But hey, if I'm doing these streams, like, if I do like 1 or 2 of these streams like once every few months, I have plenty of things to talk about. We could keep things going for a while, you know? It's not that hard. But like, if we go for like a long stretch of like 2 or 3 weeks where I'm doing these all in one go and I'm like, I have nothing to talk about. Like, I was so bored during the eggs when we were hunting for Rowlet. Like, years ago at this point, I think. At least a year and a half. It's been a while. Like, those streams, like, I was not able to hatch that many eggs because getting eggs and hatching them took forever. And I was just driving around in a circle for 2 hours, and it was boring. At least with this, a bit more visually interesting, and I'm at least looking at the screen a bit more often. I'm not just holding left and waiting for the game to be like, egg. I actually have to, like, move around the lower half of Area 0 and look for shinies. So, like, I have enough stuff to at least keep me motivated. There's a reason I don't do egg hunts anymore. At least not on stream, where I don't have anything else in the background. Chat can only go so far! Like, you know, that's just how it is. I mean, we're friends with RPGs together and we voice and stuff. We're about to get together for right before I come. Oh, I see. The person who plays with us had finals today! Ooh. Well, good luck to them. Very important timing. Finals week is just stressful. Like, tests in general are freaking stressful, but like, this is the final exam that goes over everything, and this basically determines your grade for the class. That's when you really get tense up. Like, so I hope things go well for him. I thought that finals would be done by now, but like, I guess not. Like, I guess I'm just kind of used to how colleges do things, where like, it's like a month shorter than like high schools do it. So instead of going from like August through to like late May, early June, it's like you start in September. Long story short, it's scheduled off, and I thought finals were all done for everyone by now. That's all I'm saying. How it's been a bit since I last took a college course. College just wasn't for me. It was not for me. I wanted to go into some degree where I can learn to properly code so I can make my own video games. Unfortunately, the game design classes disappeared as soon as I found out about them, and computer science and web design courses do not really help in this endeavor, so... So, yeah, not doing that. Also, since then, we've had ChatGPT show up, and that's probably just made things even more stressful for everyone. So, yeah. I'm personally never gonna use an AI to code for me, because that seems like a disaster waiting to happen, but like... Oh, that must be like that must be a nightmare for teachers out there. Then they'll run through all these sort of AI filters to guarantee that it's not freaking copied over, and stuff still slips through the cracks. There's a video going viral where someone got their degree, and they show off in their graduation that used ChatGPT on their final somehow. It's like, what the hell? It's like, dude, what the hell? It's like that one meme that was like going around a few years ago. It was like, you cheated to win. This is not a real victory or whatever. I forgot the exact phrasing of that. The song on Twitter referenced it at one point. I forget the exact specifics of it. Like you didn't just cheat the game. You cheated yourself. Like it's that. It's that, dude. Don't do that shit, please. Like, I get it. You have to go through a lot of these classes that probably don't matter in the long run because you gotta get enough credits and all that shit. It's the same reason why most people just gave up during art class back in high school. And just kind of like, we'll take a general art course and just get like a D to pass and not give a shit. Because we don't have the talent for choir or bands. This is like the most basic turn your brain off nonsense. I was the only person that actually gave a shit about that art class. I've gone into that story all before, I think even during Dudunsparce, so I'm not going over it again. Long story short, like, I get the attitude. I've been there, but please, at least don't let the AI do the work for you, because that is just awful, because you're not learning anything. The teachers are putting up with more stress because they go through extra checks. And then people who actually do the work properly can get falsely flagged. I've seen people talk online about how they've been getting their work falsely flagged as AI. It's like, these AI checkers aren't perfect. What are you supposed to do? My area still in the room. Alright. I jokingly tried to use work code that did really bad. That's why you don't rely on machines to do humans' work. We program the machines do not program the machines. If the machines program the machines, they could dominate the world or some dystopian AI thing. Insert joke about HAL 9000 here. Anyway, sandwich is done. No other shinies around, I need to check. Just the one? Okay, let's head back to the surface and check our shiny. So yeah, what a mess. What a mess, am I right? I think we have time for one more sandwich. I would do maybe 4 to go a bit longer, but like, given the fact that the first sandwich might not even be saved in the VOD because of stream technical difficulties, I can't even trust it! Alright, so this Dudunsparce, I'm gonna guess that it's... we'll go with... careful. Hardy. That's 2 Hardys today. Oh well. I'll get it right one of these days. You watch. I'll get a nature guess correct. This was worried about an art class, actually. Ooh. Do tell. If you want to. I won't force you. Because, like, if it's anything similar to my art class, oh god. This stagecraft class also counts. So I'm taking more art classes. Alright. Fair enough. I don't think we had that sort of class back in high school, did we? Ah, 2-segment. Like, back when I was in high school, it was general art class if you just wanted the credit to move on, choir or band, and that was it. Like, I wish there was more variety, but I also wish the education system prioritized stuff that actually means something. Not that art and culture don't mean anything, but like, Maybe we could teach people how to do taxes? You know, that feels like it's kind of important. Nice. I saw that message go through early. Don't worry. I'm just gonna assume, Matt. My high school is a larger budget, so we could afford a full. We could afford a full stage, and we could do yearly stage plays, something like that. Give your school more credit. Give your school more credit than it probably is earned. Anyway, let's make another sandwich. All right, tomato, onion, green bell pepper, not cloth stick, and tofu. We're gonna put on 2 sweet herba mystica because it's the closest thing we're gonna get to a cake. And our last gold hit. This is one of the biggest in the state. Oh! So I wasn't too far off with the high budget then. Don't me doing a sort of pseudo prediction. Put on onions. We'll put the tomatoes and green bell peppers on now instead of later. I'm gonna actually put on all 3 bell peppers this time. And the hamburger in the center. Place the bread off the side. And there you go. A bit of population. Okay. That makes sense. I assume this school's got to have high. I assume this school would have to have a high budget because there's so many students, you know. It's not super high. It's not super high budget, but like, you know, it wouldn't feel like it's super. It wouldn't feel too different from like a smaller one, I guess. Like, it's not like you're getting the same budget as every other school. It's like they're just spread things super thin, you know. At least there's that. I wouldn't say like grace. Like in your budget or something, but like, you know, you probably are better off than my school was. Though granted, our school had enough budget in order to fund like a whole redo of one of the wings of the school and like extend what was called A building, even though it's all part of the same building, to be like, why is this big? And I think add a second level to it. Okay. Looks like a brick. Okay. You act like that's a bad thing. I mean, the general, like, elementary, junior high school I went to was kind of just a brick. In a way. So, like, can't feel that bad. I wonder, when we actually, like, left 8th grade, I swear we heard something about that old school adding in, like, a proper track and fields. Because, like, there was a big open area that we did a lot of, like, field stuff, but didn't have, like, a proper, like, track or anything. But I heard that they may have been wanting to add a track in that area. I don't know if they ever did that. I don't know if they ever did that. That'd be freaking cool if it was. Like, if it was true and they actually did do that, that'd be cool. I still remember the old art room we had at that school. It was just a little, like, downstairs room that kind of looks like a janitor's closet. And then one year, they finally decided to give the art room, like, a full-on revamp and give, like, a new art room. I think it was still in the same area. It was still in the basement, but it was like this big room. It was like the direct opposite of the computer lab. It was the same size, but the opposite end of the building. And as you might think, the old art room was indeed converted into a janitor's closet. It fit too well. It fit too well. Some of the buildings from 1920. Oh. I don't even, like, I know some of the classrooms in my high school were kind of old. Like, the classroom where I took my history classes was definitely on the older side. But, like, I don't know if it was ever, like, I don't know if any of it was 1920 old. At least none of the remaining bits, anyway. I think some of the old A building might have been, but like, it was so old, it was damn near 100. Like, you're gonna have to replace it at some point, or else it's just gonna break. It's sad to lose that part of history, but like, if it's a building in active use, you kinda have to do something with it, you know? Like, wow. That shit is cool, though. That shit is cool, though. Like, you're going from one classroom, which is honestly, like, fairly modern, like, there's like a projector maybe in it. The old smart board, like the dry erase board that was like all digital. Like, that shit was cool. You know, it was like technical stuff. And then you like walk like the other side of the building and suddenly like there's like next to no decoration, the desks are old fashioned. Like maybe there's a screen but it looks super out of place in comparison with the aesthetic of the rest of the room. It might have like an old chalkboard in there. You know? That shit is cool though. So anyway, back to the whole stagecraft class you were doing. You're saying it was similar to my art class. What was that about? If you say it's similar to art class, you make me think, uh-oh, there's gonna be a bunch of the people there, only doing it for the credit, slacking off, and just being overall pests. Like, I laugh about it now. I laugh about how absurd some of that shit was back in that art class, but like, at the time, man, when you're like the only person in the class to actually give a shit to any extent, especially because you're like working with the hands, and everyone else there slacking off or spending the time messing with you specifically. That art class was so rough, man. It wasn't even the teacher's fault. The teacher was so nice. She was so nice, man. She didn't deserve to be put up with it. Yeah. I hope she's doing better now. I know I asked her about her class like the very next year, like, hey, is your art class this year better? And she's like, yeah, definitely is not as bad as last year. I'm like, well, that's good to hear. Definitely still a little hurt, and so like, I couldn't have taken the class this year. Instead of the previous. I could have avoided all this crap. But I know it wasn't entirely her fault. It was all pretty much out of her control. She probably could have stood to maybe discipline the students a little bit more. I feel like she was a bit too relaxed on them, but like, she could only do so much. She was one person who was already busy enough as is, because I think she was like the coach of the track team as well. She was probably also doing that a lot in the background when we were working on our projects. So she had a lot on her plate. Like, she did not deserve to go through that freaking mess. You know? There were people who were trying, most definitely. I'm sure one of those, my experiences worked with people who absolutely weren't. Oh boy. Is this one of those cases where it's like a group project and like you're the only one who actually tries and you do all the work basically yourself? So they might contribute one thing so that way this proof they actually did something, but like all of the actual main work was put on you. Like, I know that story sounds a bit cliche and basic, but like, how do you think that happens? How do you think that becomes a thing that people bring up a lot? A trope of reality, I guess. It's because the thing that actually happens and it pisses me off. Like, I dealt with that once during an English assignment back in junior high. That was the worst! And the question is it a problem with the teacher, a problem with the student, or a problem with their education system? Feel free to discuss. There are no proper answers. Either way, something is wrong. I will admit, though, I've never heard about that for a stagecraft class. You think that there'd be more effort going in that... You would think there'd be more effort going into that kind of thing, you know? It's like stagecraft, like you're doing all the backgrounds and the set design and acting out stuff. Like, that takes a lot more than just, like, doing a basic... Like, you're making a vase out of the clay. That takes a lot less effort by comparison. Like, I don't know how people can get away with slacking off with that sort of, like, stage stuff. But maybe I'm not quite understanding what the class was. Could just be me. I don't know. Could just be me misunderstanding. Because again, we did not have that kind of class. Like, we did have, like, yearly, maybe bi-yearly plays, I think, back in, like, elementary and junior high. But, like, those were always handled by the music teacher. So it was all kind of lumped together. It wasn't like a whole separate thing. In high school, like, there is a stage and all that, but... And that was mainly used for choir and band, and... I don't know if there was some after-school program for it, but I never went to it, obviously. I was part of an after-school gaming club that, well, let's just say even in a group of gamers, I was extremely out of place, because I don't play Smash, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't play Magic the Gathering. So, like, I was definitely way out of place there. I was just sitting in the corner playing Mega Man The Wily Wars on a Chromebook. Like, come on. I was so out of place there. The most part was that class working quite hard. The most part was the select few, how that class would evolve. Okay, so you guys were working on the upcoming, like, player musical. So I was kind of on the money with that. That's pretty expected. Here's the twist! Here's the big twist! The one time where people were like, I don't really feel like it. The one that sticks out to you, because it's like the one instance where things are actually different, and you're like, this is what I'm gonna remember this for, ain't I? I'm not gonna remember the good times, I'm gonna remember the one time where I suffered for no particular reason. Because ain't the human mind hilarious? Ain't it just fun? Why are we like that? Why aren't our brains hardwired to remember all of the negative shit more than the positive stuff, you know? Why are we hardwired for that? Like, I want to remember a lot more of the good memories and all the good times, the times where I'm happy and I'm with my friends, it's a good day. But now I'm remembering all the times where I was bullied by people who weren't really giving a shit about their futures. Ugh. Thus is the way of life, I suppose. Everyone gets assigned tasks in groups with their lights, set, costumes. Okay. So that's where they get you assigned. It's not like an elective thing where it's like if the slot's open, you can take it. You were assigned that you have to do this particular thing, and if you don't care for it, oh boy, I can see this going exactly as bad as I'm envisioning. At least I'm hoping it wasn't to the extent of, like, one person in your group kind of sabotaging the whole thing because of them wanting some sick kicks out of the whole thing. Because, like, that was something that happened in my art class where there was, like, one or two guys that were actively sabotaging my stuff. Like, oh, I'm ahead on my work. and I'm gonna go help clean the sinks out. And they show up and they put paint in the sink or dump like gallons of bleach down the drain for some reason. Oh hey, we're doing like clay projects and I'm making this big face. While I'm not looking or I'm getting the teacher, someone jams a big plastic penny used for stenciling in the side of it so I have to redo like half of the base again. Again, I laugh now. At the time. Ooh. It was not fun. It was not fun. And so you can volunteer for stuff, you put pig, you can put stuff. Okay. So like, kind of first come, first serve, but every slot has to be filled eventually. Guys had to work on a flat, which is a fake wall and a door on it. Okay. I see some moving parts there. Something got jammed, the door got broken. The way the thing had to be constructed, the door had to be like made separately, and the door got ruined by the one guy wanting to sabotage things, I guess, and then I like how I'm trying to predict this shit, because like I'm trying to account for the stream delay and the time it takes to type all that out, because I know you're on a phone. So I'm filling in the dead air so it's not super obvious by me trying to predict your story. Which like, honestly, I think it's kind of a dick move. I'm sorry, but like I know it's kind of a dick move, but like, you know, if you're comparing it to my art class, like, it's gotta be some big story. Gotta be some big story. Make it relatable. Yeah? It's time to put the legs in the back of the flat so we can stand. So, your group in particular was in charge of the support. Oh, shiny! So your group in particular was in charge of the support. All the stuff that probably like is on the back, I guess. Keep the thing propped up, generally hidden from the audience. That's what Alright. Jason's actually putting up a fight because I'm not using a quick ball. The dusk ball didn't work immediately. You actually put a little bit of a fight in, little Dudunsparce. You might be our 3 segment. And now they think of something else for next stream. Oh no! 1 in 100 though. 1 in 100. Odds are low. Odds are low. Anyway. I'm not sure if I'll have a sandwich. What happened? Okay. We might get one more if we're lucky. That'd be a nice solid, like, 6 shinies today, which is definitely above average for these. Definitely above average for how these usually go. Even with the technical difficulties being a problem. At least we still made some good progress, you know? The more shinies I get, the more shinies I can rule out, and the more shinies I can trade after this whole thing is done, for anyone who wants one. Beaver Technics is actually kind of funny. Well, that's good to hear. The group do drills to screw the supports. So that means that someone on your group started drilling holes in the support beams and ruined them. Because they were bored and they didn't want to do this. Again, I'm trying to think of the whole sabotage angle because you said specifically but me to talk about my art class remind you of a similar experience. So I'm thinking, oh, there's one dickhead trying to sabotage the whole thing because he doesn't give a shit. Hey look! Another shiny! And the luck! And the luck! Let's go! Got some good luck today! That's 6 today! That's 6! Do you think Dudunsparce may have missed me a little bit? Because I have not had luck this good with this shiny hunt for multiple of these streams, I think. I don't know if I've ever gotten this many in one stream since, like, I don't know, a year ago maybe at this point? So I think this is stream number 8? Attention here. Can we get number 7? If we get number 7, that would be 3 on a sandwich twice in one stream. And if the first sandwich doesn't save and divide, then at least we have one. We have one 3 shiny sandwich. We have like 11 minutes. We'll see. This story's less sabotage and more pretty bad negligence. Ooh. So someone not paying attention because they don't give a shit. That's a whole different. That wasn't someone being bored and like not giving a shit, not really trying, and then just taking the time to mess with you because they find it fun. This is someone who doesn't give a shit and is therefore not putting their all into it and just not paying attention even enough to like do the bare minimum. Like, whether or not that's worse, I think depends on the person you're asking. But that still feels pretty bad. I'm still predicting that one of like the support boards, like the support beam or something, kind of broke because they drilled in the wrong spot or something. Or otherwise you have to replace it because like it's in the wrong spot, it's not super structurally sound, like it's this big hole in it now, or it's not even or something, and you have to replace the board, and that's all. That led to a long talk from your teacher. Minor accident. Okay. I'm still thinking like maybe the support breaks. Hopefully it happens outside of a show and not like we try to move the flat in and then it breaks while trying to move it. It's like that's a disaster. I know I'm gonna jinx it by saying this, but all the shiny Dudunsparces I've gotten this stream, there have been no wild Dudunsparces shiny. I've been able to evolve all of these. So none of these have been duds from the get-go. Which is really good news. Because you cannot find a 3-segment in the wild. I think you can maybe do raids for them, but you don't get boosted shiny odds from raids. Like they're like a little bit more rare than normal pull odds, I think. Because the calculation is different for a raid battle. It does not take into account your shiny charm. And sandwiches don't give a shit either. So like if I want a shiny 3-segment, I have to do this method. Which means I'm going to be potentially finding wild 2 segments. Which are just duds. Maybe I can go back and doing soft resets for outbreaks. I think those have better shiny odds, but setting that up takes a bit. It's also not always guaranteed to work, you know? So I feel like I have better luck generally doing this than doing the outbreak method. Because I think I did the outbreak method, like, maybe twice in the past. And while it was a nice change of pace, I feel like it was not nearly as successful. But maybe that's just me, and because I only stuck at it for a couple hours instead of going for like a full day. Maybe with a full day, it balances itself out fine. Like, you get to a point where you don't even necessarily need to do their shiny sandwiches to get good odds on them, but like... I don't know. It's a bit more of an investment to set up, because, like... For this, the setup is just, get Urban Mystica to make a sandwich. Make sandwich. Reset game if you get no shinies. Like, there's a grind to it, but like... It's not as tedious as, look at your outbreaks. If Dudunsparce, save. If not, reset game and try again. Especially because Dudunsparce is not a guarantee to any extent, so unless there's some sort of Dudunsparce event going on, which I don't think has ever happened, it's at the base. It's at the base outbreak spawn rate. So like setting it up is an absolute nightmare. But to be fair, I was lucky enough to somehow stumble across an authentic Sinisky outbreak, which I have a shiny of now. So that was a thing. That was luck. But yeah. People working essentially people working with a couple. The guy doesn't care, and the girl actually does somewhat care, with constantly getting all attached by the guy. Okay. So there is still some sabotage in there, but like not necessarily out of malice or, well, I guess boredom could still technically be a potential reason, but like not like, haha, I have done the bare minimum. I will now take the guy who's actually giving a shit and mess with him. I will potentially ruin his grade on his assignment. I like how I keep thinking, I'm describing these guys as if they're like, as if they're like super evil, like villains in like a comic book or something. With their nefarious evil schemes to dominate the classroom. No, they really weren't though. They were just like general dickheads. Especially the one who was kind of like the ringleader of the group. He did the most. He kind of like led like a sort of posse of sorts to kind of mess with me all at once. Like, he was the main one who messed around and got everyone to start messing with the sinks when I was killing them that one day. Like, he was the main guy who kind of organized that, in quotes. They'd sometimes hide in little corners of the stage, just play on their phones. You see, at least they were trying to hide when it came to messing around like that. Like, I guess when you're hiding like backstage, it's a lot easier to. There's more like crevices where you maybe could, and you can kind of like slip through some cracks. You couldn't really do that in my art class. It's kind of like this big, fairly open room. Didn't stop like half the class from like messing around their phones and going through Instagram anyway. Like, did I tell you the one part towards the end of the semester where one of the kids, one of the guys finally gets freaking kicked out and he freaking complains on Snapchat and all of their phones go up and they're all part of like one ring group? And like the guy's sitting outside, and for some reason the art teacher didn't confiscate his phone until the end of class. So he's just complaining on Snapchat, and then he has to get escorted to the principal because of it. Like, these people did not even try to hide it. So I guess maybe the people in your high school were just more confident about that. The classroom was the whole last stage. I mean, true, but still. But still. You'd think it's like, okay, these students are assigned to this work. That means they need to be in this general area. I will check in. If they are not there, they're in trouble. Like, you'd think with a more, like, expansive area and the bigger, like, hiding spots, I guess, that there'd be at least more of an effort to keep an eye on everyone, right? But I guess maybe not? I don't know. Maybe it was just a case of, like, there's only one teacher doing it, and they were just overworked. They just could not handle everyone at once. Kind of that whole deal. It's like, I kind of get it in that case, but, like, that's still rough. Several rooms and stairwells. I mean, again, true, but still, you'd think, with all that extra space and all of these different projects going on, you'd think there'd be a little more attention brought to, like, where everyone's supposed to be, right? But I don't know. Maybe I'm just giving too much of the benefit of the doubt here. I don't know. I don't know. I could just be looking too deeply into things. It's kind of how I am, I guess. still in the sandwich. 2.5 minutes. We might get one more shiny if we're lucky. Maybe. I forget the actual odds here. I think it's a charm and a level 3 sparkling power. So I don't know exactly how much we're going off of here. To some extent, we were expected to be independent as we were using actual power tools and stuff. I mean, I feel like that would still require some surveillance, right? Like, I get it, you were all in high school, but I don't know if I'd just willingly trust, you know? Be like, I'm sure he'll be fine with a drill that can go through any wall. I'm sure it's fine. Maybe your school was just more trusting. Maybe your school just had more faith in humanity. Most of the classes that case, I mean, one teacher. Okay, so there was still other cases that being like too much maybe for one teacher to handle it all at once. That sucks. That sucks when that happens. A minute left in the sandwich. No more pink. Did one just run off the edge? You guys saw that too, right? Just there's a Dudunsparce running off the edge. It's like, don't touch me! Sure, he's fine. Sandwich. Can we squeak out one more? No! No more shinies. Boo. It's one more, I think. It's a 2. Ah! Robo Santa Jr.! Not right now! Now's not the time for Robo Santa. Oh. Right. Product is slow. So, running away is not going to be that easy for him. Right. See more spawns. Who's still boosted, maybe? Yeah, I think so. I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm so used to other games. There are things that they could be more actively had to help with. There's a class split amongst several rooms and floors. Oh god! Yeah, that does seem like an absolute overwhelming nightmare. Alright. Let's check our shinies. We have 2 shinies here. So I think I'm gonna guess at least one of them is Hardy, because that's how my luck has been today. And we'll go with Bold again. Quirky and Naughty, damn. I'm so bad at getting his nature guesses. You'd think I'd get it eventually, but no. You'd think I'd get it eventually, but no. I need to put the moves on. I don't forget to put the actual move on. I gotta put on Hyper Drill or it won't evolve. Because, of course, it does. Alright, 1. And then Hyper Drill on the 2nd. Alright. Not boxes. We can worry about the boxes later. Like, we'll have to make more space, because that box is full of, like, 25 Dudunsparce and 5 various other shinies I found. So I need to organize these a little bit better. We'll use, like, 11 on you. Perfect. Alright. Here's number 26. segment. So list of rooms and such where a part was class included the men's and women's costume rooms. Okay. Probably the stage itself, I'm guessing. Ow! One short! Damn it! I cannot gauge these candies worth a shit. Alright, 27. This is what we got. 2 seconds, dang. Men's was third floor, women's was second. And how many floors was this all on? Like 3? Maybe 4? I don't know. I don't think it'd be 4 though. It's a bit excessive, because like first, second, third, like that would also a 4th would be like the basement, I guess. Right, so that's one box full. You know what? Since you're telling your story, I don't know how long it's gonna take you to finish up. I think I actually will go for another sandwich. Plus, that means if the first sandwich doesn't save into the pod, I'll at least still have 3 sandwiches that people can go through, I guess. It's something. Stay to the first floor. Okay. And tomato, onion, green bell pepper, and 2 more tofu. This will be the last sandwich no matter what. 2 sweet herb mystic cuts, because it's the closest thing to a cake. And do I want to go with the McMortar picks or the Smiley Evie picks? Well, Evie is a normal type, and I like Evie more than McMortar, so there you go. We'll use an Evie pick. Why not? Alright. Another sandwich. So, a tofu sandwich that probably tastes like shit. All the contrasting flavors of the tofu, the onions, the sweet herba mystica. It probably tastes like an absolute clusterfuck. Like, ugh. Like, if I wasn't eating this for the superpower of attracting more shinies to my location, I wouldn't be eating this at all. Stage first floor, trap room in the basement, grid on the 4th floor, and men's room's dressing rooms on the 1st floor. Probably like right next to the stage. It's like backstage stuff. That makes sense. It's like this is like this is a big area. It's 5 floors, because you have the 1st floor for the stage and the dressing rooms. Women's costume on 2nd, men's costume on 3rd, grid on 4th, and the trap doors, the trap room for everything in the basement. Also underneath. That's 5 floors. Game? Okay. The game froze up for a second trying to calculate shadows, I think. I got a bit worried. I did just save, I guess. So I'm not losing really anything, but like... Here's hoping that the Switch 2 version doesn't do stuff like that. Though I guess it does run a lot smoother on Switch 2 regardless, so... Maybe that doesn't happen at all anymore. Still a bit frustrating, I guess. Still a bit, eh. Alright. Let's get some more Dudunsparce. One more sandwich ought to do. Get to the rest of the story. I can organize I can figure out what the hell I'm gonna do with the boxes after stream. I don't think I'm gonna get enough Dudunsparces to fill up my entire party. Then we can just kind of figure it out from there. Green room on the 1st floor, more of a closet than an actual green room. So yeah, there was no way in hell that one teacher was gonna be able to keep track of everyone. I'm so sorry, dude. That is nuts. But wait. Okay, you were blue. With the shading and the weird like transparency they put on so they hide in the walls. I don't trust them. Who was on the 1st floor? That is a lot. That is a lot. know if I'm gonna go back in the little pocket anymore. There's not really any spawns that will show up in there. And in order to get out, I go to the same spawns again. So, probably won't go in the little like back cave anymore. I don't think the Switch 2 version fixes any hitboxes, so even when I upgrade, it's still gonna be like this constantly. Yeah. Oh well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna fucking do? What's taking so long to spawn into these areas now? What's going on? Luckily, something else I know is that shinies cannot like run away from you like this. So like if they start burrowing, then they're not shiny. Blooddy's messing with me a little bit because the glow from the crystals kind of makes it look kind of pinkish on some of the Dudunsparces when they look in the wrong way. It's a bit awkward, I'll admit. Second floor, you have to leave the stage and go around to one of our two other much smaller stages to get to it. So there's multiple stages. Okay. I thought you said your school didn't have much of a budget. But it can afford a huge ass stage with all of the necessities, including little side stages you have to go through to get to some of them. That's more than my high school had. So granted, I guess that's the perk of having a more dense population, I suppose. More people in school, I guess, they kind of overestimate them. They definitely did not go bare minimum. I'll say that much. Because they're old and beloved. Okay. Sure, but still, they're still around. The fact that they're even there to begin with is kind of unexpected, you know? Things are getting kind of quiet again. I don't want to rush through your story, but I can only predict so much, and again, I was not really expecting the scope of this whole stage area. I really was not. The seating of the other two stages are massive turntables. You can rotate this. Wow. Okay. Fancy. Seats that can freaking turn to face different stages. Wow. Again, I do not expect that kind of stuff from a school. But again, I live out in the Midwest. In like a smaller area, you know? It's like we didn't really have like these like extravagant things. Like, I guess you kind of take it for granted a little bit, but like, dude, if we had multiple little stages with seats that could like swivel internal little turntable to face each of the little stages. Like, that would be the coolest shit. But no, I think we had like a typical auditorium. One stage, enough seating for I think most of the people going to school at the time. If not everyone. I don't think it was anything super extravagant or anything. It was big enough for a thing where they talked about road safety and how you shouldn't drink while you're driving because you could end up driving in the wrong lane and paralyzing the person from the waist down. Which, yes, is generally very good advice, but also it makes you cry after that whole thing. It really hits you hard when you see the real-life consequences of terrible actions. It's also one of the many reasons why I'm scared of driving. I'm scared of getting myself into an accident. It's like I feel like I can trust myself behind the wheel to not crash. I don't know if I could trust other people. All it takes is one. Yeah, I can ace the written. I am too scared to do anything else. If I can get my permit, I'm scared to go any further. My grandpa could compliment me about how he could drive his golf cart around the campground, well, as much as he wants, but it's a much smaller area, and the speed limit's like 5 miles an hour. Single lane. We're not dealing with multiple lanes going 30 to 70, you know? You know? A lot less traffic out in a campground. I guess the roads are actually generally smoother than the gravel you drive on in the campground, but still. Not Malone seats, too. The entire seating arrangement was on 2 singular large turntables. That's still freaking cool. That's still freaking cool. Like, our school didn't have that. Heck, in my old elementary, junior high school, like, our auditorium was kind of melted into the gym, so they had to use the bleachers and, like, I guess, like, oh, I don't think they were folding chairs. Maybe they were. We had to put, like, other chairs in the gym to seat people. There was that and the bleachers, and that was really it. That's what we had to deal with. And me, being naive, thought every school was like that growing up. But no. Just the consequence of being in a small area in the Midwest. If you're wondering what that noise was, I think his mom's messing around in the basement. There's a door in the basement that leads outside, and the door is very squeaky. It needs some oil. But we also don't use that door very much, so I don't know what's up. Anyway, I'm willing to bet that's not everything. A little more on the stage, and the catwalks on floor 3, but going back to the story, with flat face down on the floor to pull up the screws. Aha! I like the screen that shiny spawns. Gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention somewhat. The flat face down and pull up the screws. You have one concern already. You're worried about screwing the flat into the floor, aren't you? I bring up, I think the screws are too long. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, the flat is just screwed into the stage, face down. And of course, when you remove the screw, it still leaves a little hole in the stage. Probably not too noticeable to people actually watching the play, but still, Still a bit of a problem. Uh-oh. I don't think we really had like, flats at all whenever we did our like, school plays. I don't think they were a thing in high school, and with like the small productions we did in elementary and junior high, like I think we had maybe cardboard cutouts. That was really the extent of it. I don't think we had full like proper wooden flats or anything. Again, smaller district, smaller school. Makes sense. But, you know. The door that lifts the main part of the flat we're drilling into was up. Okay. So you have a trap door that's kind of raising the flat a little bit. Like propping the flat up while you work on it. If I'm reading that right anyway. It's like maybe you accidentally screwed another door, I guess. It's kind of funny how sometimes they still use their low poly models, and the low poly models don't have like a separate like mouth. So like if you encounter a Dudunsparce that's in its low poly state, it just doesn't open its mouth when it roars at you. It looks so stupid. I know for a fact that's not a thing on Switch 2. Like stuff like the super choppy Sunfloras from the grass gym. Like, they're not super choppy anymore. They're nice and smooth. So I'm willing to bet that on Switch 2, it doesn't load the low poly models as easily, if ever. It's like, okay. Full size door with door frame. Sorry, my concern's brushed off, and I'm told it's not gonna go all the way through. It proceeds to go all the way through. This is why you double check all these things. You don't just blindly go like, I'm sure it's fine. It'll fit, of course it'll fit. So, like, are you hanging the flat off of, like, the door frame or something? Or something along those lines? Like, you're not actually, like, you're not propping it up on the door itself, I imagine. Drill and then I brush my shoe along the bottom. It's a flat with a door. Okay, so you're talking about the door on the flat, not the door of the room that you're propping it up against, or like. Okay, so you're using the door of the flat to prop the flat up. Okay. Glad we got that sorted out. That took a lot longer than it needed to, I'm sorry. So, door props up flat while you screw it away. You think, hey, aren't these screws a little bit long? And your group's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. And it was not fine. It was not fine. And the screws went too far, and now... shit. Shoe comes across something rough. Oh. So the screw doesn't go into like the floor or wall or anything. It's just poking out the other side of the flat. Oh dear. Huh. Bring up my concern, and it's poking through the flat. And let me guess, it's fine. I'm sure nobody will notice. It's just a little thing poking through. I'm sure it's nothing. You can probably just cover it with something. It's on the edge or something. They're not gonna be able to see that. We'll block with our stuff. It's like I don't know about that. They brush it off and continue. There we go. It's about to get worse. It's about to get worse. Oh boy. Open. Not seeing any pink right now. Sandwich timer. Got 11.5 minutes. That's fine. All the support screwed in and lift up the flat. Okay. There are indeed screws poking out. So this happens on like both sides of the flat with the supports, and then it's poking out. So I'm assuming this happens like twice or 3 times or something. Okay, yes. Then the girl goes up to the door. Okay, weird prediction. You screwed the door shut. Like, you're using the screws to screw in the hinges or something, and the door got stuck now. That's my off-the-wall prediction of 2025, I guess. Okay, oh, it opens. Okay, immediately disproven. Okay, okay. Oh, let me guess. Second prediction: the screws that are poking out of now get kind of wedged in the door. They kind of poke the door because the door gets opened up all the way and hits the screws. So now the door is dented. There's like a little screw dented. For door flat, supposed to put place in the back is screwed. For door flat, you're supposed to put weights on the back or screw it under the floor of the stage. Oh. Okay. So, I'm guessing that the screws that were used to screw the supports in place are meant to be the screws that drill into the floor to keep it in place. So now you have these long screws that are in the wrong spot that are poking through, and that means that the flat's not secured, and the flat falls down. Because it's not properly supported by the floor or by weights. And the screws that normally do it are currently in the wrong spot, poking out the side. Just attach the supports. Okay. Like... So wait, did you get the wrong screws? Or, like... That was some of the screws in the wrong place because they're not the screws meant for the supports, they're the screws meant for drilling into the floor. Hey! Either way, long story short, the flat falls over as the door opens. Because the weight of the door opening up and the imbalance of the flat itself caused it to tip over. And that probably was a really loud noise and a stern talking to. Okay, yeah. Nothing in weighing it down or is it drilled into the floor to stop it from falling over, and it does. Because physics. Well. Falls over towards you. So you're standing in front of the flat as it's tipping over. I assume the flat's not too heavy. And you'll at least maybe able to catch it before it actually like slams down it or something. That's what I'm thinking. Because you said minor, like nobody was hurt. Like you either got out of there like just in time, or you were able to catch it before it did anything. The flat with screws poking, it was falling towards you. So, not only are you worried about this big flat that's falling towards you because there's no counterweight, but the screws are poking out of it, so when the screws hit you, you're gonna get poked too. This is why you need to be really careful in these scenarios. And this is why you also cannot trust teenagers with power tools without supervision. Ugh. I tried to turn around. I didn't mean to encounter you, little guy. I was trying to turn around. Silly little Dudunsparce. So that's the story of how I got stabbed by screws from a situation I tried to prevent multiple times. Oh. Well, I'm gonna hope those didn't go too far in you. I'm sure you got all fixed up and everything's all fine. But again, someone was gonna get a stern talking to. Ow. So, what was up with the screws anyway? If the screws were too long, then did you guys get the wrong screws, or were they meant for a different part of the support? Because they obviously are not meant to poke out through the flat. You saw me try to turn around that time. You saw me try that time. Ugh. At the time, the organization of the tool room was shit. So you guys got the wrong screws because everything was organized in a really stupid way. It was like all the screws put in the same spot, not properly organized by size or something. Or it was just a case of more negligence from the couple not paying attention and just getting the wrong screws, thinking, ah, there's screws. I went into the room, I got screws, should be fine. It's like both scenarios are not good. Like, yeesh. I will admit, for all the problems I had to go through in my art class, I never really had any sort of injury from it. Closest thing I guess was, at one point, one of the guys gets like a clay scraping tool and starts poking me with it. Enough to be irritating and maybe kind of sting a little, but not enough to actually go into me or anything. Like, is the equivalent of someone kind of lightly poking you with a pencil, maybe. Like, that's about as far as it got for me. That's just because most of our art projects weren't really as, disaster-prone, I guess you could say. I don't think you're gonna have any scenario like that when you're doing watercolors or clay vases, you know? We did stuff like perspective drawings, like painting, clay sculpting, paper mache, like, none of those really have that kind of, like, I don't know, avenue to potentially, like, result in this kind of thing, unless you're actively going out of your way to use the tools well. And even then, most of the tools probably won't even do anything to you. You know? We never had to mess with screws or anything. Like, I think the biggest worry of that whole class was that because I was so far ahead on a little paper mache thing, I was allowed to go outside and spray paint to color it. And we had to be really careful and make sure that none of the paint got on the sidewalk. Because it's paint, you're not getting that off. You're not getting paint off of a sidewalk that easily. Like, yeah, I get a little paper, we put the little paper mache thing on. It's all dry at this point. Don't worry, it's not like it's like a wet paper thing at this point. And then, you know, I finished spray painting it, start letting it dry. I head back inside to get the teachers like, hey, where do you want me to put the spray paint? And then while I'm in there, a couple of the dickheads sneak out and start, and for some reason, I left the spray paint can outside. It's like, I don't know, maybe I was making sure that I didn't use it inside, because it's spray paint. You're supposed to use it outside so that way the fumes from it don't, like, get caught inside. It's like, I'm not using, like, a paintbrush or anything to paint this thing. I'm just spraying over it. And then, like, glue in, like, little, like, eyes on it, I guess. I made a paper mache rabbit, and, like, I spray painted it brown, and then I, like, glued on little, I don't know if they're, like, little rocks or little plastic things, but I glued on a couple little things to use his eyes. I don't think they were buttons. But I left the spray paint can outside because I'm not going to bring it in with the teacher. Like, I go and ask, like, hey, what do I do now? It's like, okay, you can bring, okay, keep the rabbit out of the way so that way it doesn't you know, get stepped on or rained on or anything. We just kind of like set off to the side of it. Go back out to pick up the spray paint can to give it back, and those dickheads are, true to their name, spray painting dicks on the piece of paper that's meant to protect the sidewalk. Meanwhile, in stagecraft, we can have a large box that can cut off an arm. That's a drastic difference. There's a drastic difference there. Pretty much had binds of screws, varying types and lengths. So they weren't really sorted. They were just kind of like put together somewhat haphazardly. You'd had to be stupid to get into a situation where that happens or have a huge freak accident, but hey, it's a thing that can happen, and we can't trust that people won't do that sort of thing. Not in this day and age. You cannot trust people. Anyway, that's gonna be our last sandwich for the night, and this will be our last Dudunsparce. So let's go ahead and evolve this guy. Let's go ahead and evolve this guy. And Vix, how about for sharing your little story about how you got screws poked into you? How about you guess the nature this time? Because I've guessed all the others tonight. And I remember I used to leave it generally open, but I didn't do that this time. Oops. Where does it happen? I might as well go with someone losing some... What? Okay. You have... Wow. I don't think we've ever had an incident like that. Yeah, losing your fingers is no joke. You have to be really careful with these tools. It wasn't even from the power tools? Jesus! Like, I guess these flats are made of, like, wood and stuff, right? So I guess it's woodworking. So, like, people at home who do woodworking, be very careful out there. Ugh. That's kind of freaky. It's kind of disturbing. Part of the stage lifts up to allow us to have an orchestra pit. You have like a whole segment for an orchestra? Dang. Oh, I'm guessing that part went down and someone's fingers were there and they got crushed. Ooh. Ouch. Well then. Talking about this and the fact that there's no music right now makes it even more unsettling. Yeesh. They're putting those parts back and someone jumped on a part in there. What? They jumped on their part and their fingers came off. What? Jesus Christ! Well then, on that note, so, okay, thanks for the clarification here, but that's still kind of disturbing. The person putting the parts of the pit back, I guess, ended up losing fingers because someone else thought it was a good idea to jump onto the part to lock it back in place. Huh. I'm not sure I quite understand the process here. Putting it back, so you're putting the part of the stage back down. I figure you wouldn't have your fingers under it at any point. How the heck does that happen? Well, either way, make your guess if you have one. I will admit, we never had any incidents like this back in high school for me, but like, we also just didn't really have the the means, I guess. Yeah. I mean, some of the worst that I guess happened would be dumping gallons of bleach and hand soap down a drain and wasting dozens of dollars. These are stuff I've saw. Like I've been. I don't know the stories of everything, but you think if something major like someone losing their fingers in an accident happened, it would be like the talk of the school. So I don't think we ever had any moments like that, and I hope to God that never happens. Yeesh. The earlier when they were supposed to be causing the person was being cut off because the position to be locked in. So to lock it in, you have to kind of like slide it, I guess. So I'm guessing they had their fingers between like the stage and like the top of the orchestra pit, kind of sliding it. And then a person jumped, it slammed, and there go the fingers. I'm not quite sure I'm even thinking this properly. And part of me thinks I really shouldn't be. Because that is disturbing. Rash nature. Okay, let's see. Adamant with a mark. Another birthday one! An adamant one with a birthday mark. Okay. Let's get that move on it. Before I forget again. Alright. Open our bag. And I'll just use a red candy this time. No reason not to. I have 131 of these things. Pretty useful I went there. I mean, I figured you weren't witnessing that, like, then and now. Like, two segment again. Alright. Well, on that note, that's gonna be it for, our Shiny Dunsparce hunts for tonight. We still have not gotten our 3 segment, but we still have a lot more to go before we even hit odds. So we'll be at this for a while. In the meantime, though, I'm wondering if that first 44 minutes of stream will actually be saved. If not, we still got a generally full-length stream regardless. 3 sandwiches in about 2 hours. So, you know. Plus, I talked about all the stuff I talked about in that time period anyway, so you guys can't really miss anything if you don't have that part in the VOD. So, like, you know, everything's technically here. It feels complete, I guess. Well, I was there, although I didn't see it. Someone hit their head on the set of a play. That's more of what I'd expect, you know? Anyway, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow for, I suppose, more Dudunsparce. Maybe it's Stitches. So it wasn't like a typical bonk. It was like a slam in like a corner. Anyway, let's end this on a lighter note. I'm just gonna I'm gonna go. Gonna have some nice birthday supper and all that. The big celebration won't be happening till like this weekend because like we gotta make sure all the family can make it. But you know, doesn't mean I can't have a little something today. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Dudunsparce. And I'm going to make absolutely sure that stream actually loads right when I start. Technical difficulties are fun, aren't they? They're just the best. I'll see you guys tomorrow.